EJ, always. EJ.
What's going on, everybody? It's your Uncle EJ.ALWAYZ, your mother's brother and your grandmother's good-looking son, and your grandmother's good-looking son, and...
Yo, it's the Smoker and Y and XLFT Dub, Kill Switch Battle League. You know the movement. Let's go.
Man, just call me Monty King Gigawatt, man. All good. What's popping?
And our distinguished guest this evening.
Yo, A.Ward, man. Team Daily, Horseman, YTG, man. We out here. Kansas City Midwest Battle Rap, man. Appreciate y'all for having me on, for real.
For sure. Well, tell everybody where to find you at, bro.
Yeah, just go to IamAWard.com, man. That's my website. That's the easiest way. You can find the merch. You can find my battles. You can click all my social media hyperlinks. It'll take you to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. So, yeah, just hit the website and navigate through. Leave a message. Tell a friend to tell a friend. So
that's a bet. Well, yeah, man, I appreciate you for having you on the show. Before we even started off the show recording, I was commenting on the 4 horsemen, the 5 horsemen.
The horsemen now.
The horsemen now. Okay, we're just gonna say the horsemen. And I was commenting, and I didn't mention y'all's professionalism for one, but I was talking about how each of you gentlemen, you don't have like an up in your face style of presenting your religion to anyone. It's kind of like, could I say cool Christians? Is that a word? Did I coin that? You know what I'm saying? Did I coin that?
The cool Christians.
The cool Christians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know they had the cool kids. That's way after me, but yeah, the cool Christians. But since I grew up like in a real religious background, I can appreciate anybody who just walks and tries to do it by example. You know what I mean? Because there's 3 ways to learn. I tell people all the time: participation, conversation, and observation. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times when you can just observe the right thing, then you can pattern yourself. You don't have to ask questions. You can just watch it. But anyway, it's not about any of that. I wanted to talk about first, sir, this whole URL A.Ward thing, because I'm sure everybody always addresses it with you. So we're going to get it out the way.
Most definitely.
When are you going to get that plate, bro?
Man, it's coming. I'll tell you that much. And you guys get the exclusive. You know what I mean? So
facts.
And I'm just saying, like, it's coming. I'm not gonna give too much more into detail. I'll just say this much, that we are a lot further in the process and a lot closer than we were a month or 2 ago. And so over the last 6 weeks, we have made a lot of progress in our discussions. Basically, for the last 2 years, there's continued to be offers for me to take battles, but they've all like kind of been the same type of offer. And I've always pushed back and said, listen, you're not hearing me. Like this is what I want. This is what I would need. I'll compromise on this. You compromise on that. And it's never gotten there. And so I was to the point to where probably the end of last year, beginning of this year, I started to think to myself, like, man, I don't think they're going to budge. I think that, they're going to take this caffeine thing and they're going to take off and they're going to look at me and say, sorry, you didn't jump on while you could. Like I kind of got to that point at a time. But over the last 6 weeks, man, I've been in talks with, a lot of those guys. I was able to really chop it up with Smack and Beasley in Atlanta whenever I went down for the Danny Myers battle. And we kind of just took it from there. And so, yes, man, we've become a lot closer. I highly anticipate touching that stage, hopefully by the end of the year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so I don't know what that looks like with obviously COVID-19 and stuff. So I don't know if that looks like, an Ultimate Madness tournament or a one-off or whatever it may be. But I think that we're very, very close. So.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. I got a question. Now, being that you guys are the different kind of group in battle rap.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there should be like that horseman versus kind of thing going, like mixing the teams up going on? You know what I'm saying? Like horses versus I'm trying to just
NWX or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like those type of cards, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely. And that's one of the reasons why we're a lot closer too, is like, they brought me on Caffeine, on the Primetime Caffeine show, to talk trash, because, Saga's going back and forth with DNA, Loso's going back and forth with K-Shine, Smack's like, yo, for my birthday, I want, Horseman NWX. And that's, battle rap's always trying to reinvent themselves. They're always trying to find ways to make new types of cards, do different things, which is why we got the double impacts, which is why we got the rookies versus vets, And so really, you know, team cards is going to bring another dynamic to it. And the fact that we got 5 guys that top to bottom can compete on, you know, any stage helps out a lot too. So it's not like, you know what, actually such and such really doesn't deserve this kind of, you know, card. You know, we only really got 2 or 3 matches that makes us money. It's not like that with the Horsemen. And so then you could go ahead and find, you know, 5 guys from NWX or Wavegang or Team Hami or something like that, and you can make a solid card, you know. And so yeah, that's one of the things, man. It's that is just, you know, kind of turned me into like really like listening and talking with URL is just the team matchups are accessible there, and then now with me and Loso doing the 2-on-2s, you know, like the summer the double impacts and the 2-on-2 battles are accessible over there as well. So, you know, there's just a lot of things that my career can benefit from, you know, at least, you know, getting some battles over there and kind of, you know, get some exposure. So
that's a fact. So is it like a this gonna be a 1-on-1 type thing, or are they trying to do the 2-on-2 you?
From what I understand, they want to do the 1-on-1, you know. The 2-on-2 is definitely like, you know, with the B-Dot Geechee battle that we had, and then we did the quarantine battle against NWX to try to set up, you know, something for the future. I think we're on the short list, you know, when they go down, if the next time they say they want to do a card with 2-on-2s, I think that, you know, if you're looking at the top 6 or 7 teams, like myself and Loso are on that short list, I think the reason they want to get the 1-on-1 out of the way is so that they don't have to deal with people saying, yo, why is Ward on URL in a 2-on-2 match and he hasn't done such and such, you know what I mean? And so it's just kind of like the little politics and formalities that they got over there that have been kind of frustrating over the years.
Now, I don't know why I just got like the thought I would love to see like a team versus team where like everybody is battling everybody, like a 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 type joint.
Hey, that was kind of crazy.
Battle
like
Royale type joint. That would be fire.
Yeah, like the versus Capcom. Everybody just tagging in and tagging out.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy. Yeah.
Like, just like
crazy.
You just got to agree to be clipped up. Like, yo, I got 16, and then I got 8, and I got 4. Tag me in. I'll spit my 4, then I'll tag somebody in. They spit their 16, whatever, you know. That'd be dope.
And we on here interviewing Captain America. You know what I'm talking about, from the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, if they have another double impact, bro, and there's no Loso and no A.Ward, we dropped like 17 blogs. I promise you.
Period.
Because it's a different level. Like we saw Marv and
Quest.
Yeah, we saw them go up there, and it's not the same. There's a difference. There's a difference on the URL stage. And I don't know if it was the material that didn't carry over. I don't know if it was their opponent, but you know what I'm saying? What Loso and what you showed was like the chemistry from the first one y'all ever did. We was like, what? They finishing each other's sentences. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's great.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna believe me, but when I tell you that we was on like 60%, like that's what we was really on.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, serious. I battled Danny the week before. And so I was trusting that Loso, since he hadn't battled in a minute, that he was gonna kind of like do a lot of the ideas and writings. And we literally wrote 2 rounds after, like we had 1 round ready, and then we wrote the second and the third, basically from Monday to Saturday of that week. And he lives in Florida. I live in Kansas City. So we got there a day early, and we just practiced and practiced. We walked around the mall and everything. And that's something that you, like, Geechee and B-Dot might not live beside each other, but they live a couple hours, hour, you know what I mean? Like, the NWX, like, DNA and K-Shine can go over to each other's house and go, you know what I mean? Like that. Like, it's not the same when you're on the phone, you know, trying to get chemistry down, because you already know there's a little bit of a delay, you know? Yeah, and so that was very difficult. So that's why I said, like, we were so happy with our performance, because sometimes you're happy and you're like, yo, bro, I was on 10, you know what I mean? And then you get stressed because you're like, yo, how do I do better than that next time? You know, you got to worry about that. We looked at each other, was like, yo, we just got crazy on like 60%, you know, like the sky's the limit right now.
That's great.
That's crazy though, because that, well, now that I say that, what did you see the Swamp and the twerk battle?
I did, man.
And so since we're talking about you and Loso getting together, walking around the mall, getting prepared with your material, and going out and having a fire performance, I talked about in my last blog that Beasley's talking about having an event every weekend. So if he's having an event every weekend, even the top tier battle rappers, you might have to battle once a month. You know what I'm saying? Once every 6 weeks.
Yep.
So it's going to award the people who are better at preparation and learning their material.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's what it's coming to, and they're gonna weed out, you got some guys that, I think Ichigati's now to the point to where he could probably sit back and say, I'm not battling for 3 months. I'm taking, goods when he's ready or whatever and still get his bag. But you still got a lot of guys out here that in order to stay relevant or stay on top, they have to continue to, battle, do well, and push themselves in their brand, And if like these Ultimate Madness tournaments, the 2 weeks, battling in 2 weeks, battling, this it's gonna show, who really is about that kind of life. And if you're not, then you better hope that you have created something for yourself to be able to get out of that and still keep your name relevant, because that's what I pride myself on, is memorization, the ability to rebuttal, all that kind of stuff. Like, I go into every matchup like, like you paid me for a product and I'm giving you what you want. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go to the restaurant and pay for a meal and it come out looking half,
Right.
Like, and if it did, I would not be happy. So I'm not trying to make people not happy.
That's part of eating, the presentation of it.
Yeah.
And battle rap has evolved from just lyrics on the block to where you have 2 jobs. You have to beat your opponent and you have to entertain the crowd.
Facts.
I'm gonna break the ice. I'm about to break the ice. This ultimate madness too. You gotta give an answer, man. If it makes it all the way to the top, and if Loso has to play Saga, who are you picking? And you can't just be like, no, them is just what. No,
he got to stand in the middle like Smack. You know what I'm saying? He can't even go. He can't react to no bars.
Right when I seen both of them when they was pulling the cards, that's the first thing I told EJ and them. I was like, man, what if Loso and Saga is at the end, or they end up having a battle in this tournament?
Oh man, I'll tell you what. They said they're announcing the bracket on Sunday, so they're gonna announce how the bracket look, or not Sunday, Saturday during Nome.
Yeah.
I hope and pray they are on the different sides, man. Listen, I told them both when they agreed to do it. I said, listen, I would never battle y'all. Like, I would never battle you guys, period, like in a battle, regardless. I would definitely never battle y'all with $25,000 on the line.
Well, you finna say
because, listen,
temptation.
I don't care how good of friends we are, like if my wife is nagging me all week about stuff getting done on the house, then the world finding out about Loso.
Right now, dude. Now.
Yeah. So but yeah, I gotta give the politically correct answer, bro. It's not. I mean, I'm not picking one of them. I'll just say this much: that they are very different battlers, bro. And I think that if I watch the first two rounds and I see kind of what the judges are enjoying, then I can tell you Saga's going to win this, because the judges are really wanting, certain aspects about it. Nah, you know what? They love the entertainment and the enthusiasm, the charisma. Loso might have an edge over, but I just don't know.
Yeah, we don't even know who the judges are now, huh?
Yeah, I'm hoping they're a little different, man. I'm hoping they are a little bit different. So
the battle rap world, they're going to be different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure with that.
I got a question, man.
What else?
So we got these tournaments going on. I want to say that I would love to see you. And what do you think about a tournament full of guys who could rebuttal and freestyle?
Yeah.
And that's the core of the you know what I mean? Like, what do you think of that? How do you feel about that? Because I've rebutted in battles before too. So it's a tough thing, bro. It's a real tough. And then you got to jump back into your material and don't let it be the middle of the round. That's even worse. So I know the trouble in that, but what do you think of that?
One of the biggest things people don't realize is forming rebuttals is not hard for me. I can rhyme words pretty, if you can freestyle, or if you're pretty quick witted, I can rhyme words together, pretty easily. The hardest part is knowing whether to say the rebuttal or not, because a terrible rebuttal can affect a good round. You start off with a rebuttal that don't hit, or just or if you're known for rebuttaling and all of a sudden it's just okay, it can be like, oh, Ward's not on it today, and then they can listen to your round like that. So the hardest part for me is saying is this good enough in my head to say right now? And so that's kind of the hardest part. But yeah, a tournament of that, anytime that you could be in the same category as like the Sharons, Trezors, Hollows, Big
Danny
Cannons,
Myers
DNAs,
now too.
these guys, you know, because the minute they put you in that tournament, Battle Rap has stamped you as one of the top, you know, 8, 12, or 16 rebuttalers, you know, period, you know. And so you could take that and you could brand it, you know, and if you win it, if you win it, then you better believe my Twitter is gonna say #1 rebuttaler in battle rap of all time. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm going with, you know. I'm gonna have a new logo.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And so yeah, I would definitely enjoy that, you know. When I was talking with a URL, you know, we were talking about possible things with the tournaments and stuff, and my first battle there, I don't know if I want it to be a judge battle, you know, just because like the last thing you need is a debatable battle. The judges say you lost, and then A.Ward came over to URL and lost, quote unquote, lost his first battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
even though the other 150 battlers don't have wins or losses, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're all gonna say, "Oh, you see what's different over here? We told you, yada yada." You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not leaving that into the judges' hands. Not these judges.
And you know, there's a difference.
Not these judges.
There's a difference when, you know, of course, when people battle at their home leagues. But you can tell, like the Geechee battle, it was in Wichita, and when you rap, you could tell everybody was on your side, but that same crowd was giving it up for Geechee too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, no, this is an even playing field we got here. We got a crowd that's going for both artists. When New URL went to Houston the first time, when Tech was down there, that crowd was unbiased. I don't know about the second time because I was there in the crowd and they was just like, A.Ward hadn't said a word and they was like, "Boo, you trash." I was like, "Hey, bro, can he say something?" But when there's an even playing field, there's guys like you, there's guys like, you know, J Murder and FD Dub who have managed to make a career out of this without being on the URL main stage. Can you talk about that to any upcoming battlers? You know, because we got a bunch of guys that we talk to, some younger guys. A lot of times they don't pay attention, you know what I'm saying? But somebody like you, you've already crossed that street for them. Can you elaborate on that?
No, and you're right, man. If it's like, you know, you got your West Coast and your East Coast bias. Like, there's real biases. Those are very, very real biases. You could be from somewhere else, and you come there and you're battling one of their guys, and the crowd wants to see you lose. A lot of their people are there because there's a lot of guys that battle rap on the West Coast and the East Coast. You know, like, so. There's definitely real, you know, when you go to places like Houston was starving for a URL event. They were so happy to have it. They didn't care. They looked at it like the way entertainment should be looked at. Like, oh, guess what? Jay-Z and Kanye West are doing a concert at the Sprint Center downtown, like in Kansas City. Yo, I can't wait to see them. They're celebrity. There's my favorite. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going kind of like excited to go to an event, you know? But sometimes when you get into some of these places on the East Coast and on the West Coast, they've been to events all the time. They see these guys all the time. And this is not just like a night out, you know, to go to be entertained. This is more of like, you know, kind of like a, you know, people getting their little clicks and stuff like that. And so it's difficult. So that's why you see in Kansas City, like an area that's not known for battle rap or whatever. When we have guys like Danny Myers, Saint Mike, Chef Trez, these guys come and perform, my crowd is like, yo, I can't wait, bro. I love watching Chef Trez battles, you know? Like, I can't wait to see Chef Trez, you know? And, like, even if they love me, they're still giving it up. But, like you said, though, like, I mean, as far as, like, really, like, positioning yourself in battle rap without touching that URL stage, man, you know, the thing about J Murder is, J Murder's dope. You know, you just got to be dope. Like, at the end of the day, like, a lot of people think they're dope, and a lot of people's friends tell them that they're dope. But at the end of the day, like, you had to look in that mirror and say, am I dope at battle rap?
Message.
No. Yeah. I might be dope at rapping. I might be dope at making music. I might be dope at freestyling. Am I a dope battle rapper? Like, it's a very, you know, it's a niche, you know? It's like a pitcher, like they could throw a knuckleball, you know? Like, I bet every pitcher can throw a knuckleball, but then you got like R.A. Dickey and a couple of these guys where their knuckleball is like, oh, that dude could throw a nut, you know what I mean? So, like, we can all rap, we can all do different things. So, like, really, like, if you feel like that is your thing, battle rap or whatever, like, you really, really got to separate yourself by being unique you got to separate yourself by trying to reinvent yourself and find different ways to entertain so that people aren't saying, man, you sound just like such and such, or you know, because battle rappers are a dime a dozen, man. If I go to Oklahoma City and I perform and I'm on stage, I'm probably going to perform on a card with 7 or 8 battles. There's going to be 16, 17 people. Like, how am I going to remember you? So that when I'm with Organic and Gully and I say, yo, you got to check out this dude named Sean Gada. He's actually super fire. He's out of Oklahoma. He's got a pen. He's crazy. Like, and there's a reason why I remember Sean Gada, you know? There's a reason why when I go to, you know, certain places, I'm like, yo, you know, this dude's so severe. It's nice. He can rebuttal.
I see him at Gates Garden.
Yeah, like, I'm like, yo, he's got projection, which is a key thing in battle rap. So, like, really just set yourself apart, you know? And then I think that's what Jay Murda and myself and people like us have done, is just really kind of said, all right, here's your average battle rapper on an average card on an average local event. I'm going to be the guy you remember every time you come out. And then, you know, it kind of works itself out. So.
Yeah. And when we had our conversation with Jay Murda, he was basically like, almost like you, I had done all these cards and got paid a certain amount of money. And I was left with the option of whether, you know, go on URL for more events and take less money, or make more money doing these other events. And so when he weighed out the options, it ended up the way that it was. So I can understand it too. And I respect anybody that has been able to take their art form or their craft and be able to leverage it and to make money for their family. That's like the dopest thing ever. You know what I'm saying?
That is super dope, man. Yeah. And that's probably one of the reasons, like, I that's what he should do. You know, like I work a full-time job still. Like battle rap, you know, puts a new roof on my house, you know, or puts the deck out. Like battle rap pays for certain things, but like I just don't trust, you know, COVID happened, you know, like how do you know stuff's not gonna get shut down? Like I need my bills paid. I need to know what I'm getting. That's the kind of spender I am. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so yeah, you're right though. Like I mean, the conversations I've had with URL is like, what? You want me to do a what battle? You want me to do it for free the first time? You know? And I'm like, yo, you realize like I'm taking a $3,000, you know, probably around a $3,000 pay cut, you know, just because. And then I'm saying like, wait, the second battle is what? 500? Wait, you know, like, but if you're in the position, like, you know, like myself or whatever, or even if you've saved up money or whatever, and you could look at it as an investment, you know, and you could look at the big picture, the long run, you know, you can convince yourself and say, all right, Ward, you know, go ahead, you know, get these 2, 3, whatever it may be, 4 battles that you got to do under what you're getting paid, knocked out. And then, you know, but I mean, so it's definitely a tough conversation for guys. So
4?
Right. You know what? You're not right. That's
Bro.
Dang, man. Probation is on like 90 days on a real job. That's 3 months, bro. Come on, smack. Man. And I don't understand, man. I don't know, man. It's a tough thing. You know, leagues probably don't want to hear this, but maybe, you know, in the future, battles will have someone that represents them as a group who can set a standard for what you pay based on your experience and maybe your numbers, or, you know, if
we've had those talks.
Advanced metrics.
We've definitely had those union type talks, you know, because you find battlers who put their, you know, this is their job, you know, and somebody will reach out and they'll say, this is my price. And then, you know, your buddy will go ahead and do it for $500, you know, and you're not getting that plate, and you're looking at your buddy like, bro, like you're worth more than this. We're worth more than this, you know, like if people are just coming out here and doing it for $250, $500, you know, like we're never going to be able to charge what we're worth because they can just find the next person, you know? And so, but we've had like some of the, you know, I'm in groups with some of the, you know, the top tier, middle tier, you know, legend kind of, we've had those conversations like, yo, how do we basically have just like an unwritten understanding that if such and such league calls you and says, hey, you know, like you don't do it for less than this. And it might get to that point, you know, it's becoming more and more professional every day, you know? And so I don't know when or where, or, you know, but it might get to that point. So.
Especially with publishing, it might be game might change, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like the changes that are happening now, as we're going to eventually have to evolve as the MCs, and you know what I mean? We're going to have to evolve our leverages that we got. So we definitely have to make more demands. But that eventually, I guess that happens over time. Really, that's over time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's going to take top tiers, bro.
Step
You know what
by
I'm saying?
step.
It's going to take top tiers and mid tiers to make that stand for the lower leverage guys who don't have leverage. Because, you know, like he was saying, if you've never had a PG, you know what I mean? You're going to be like, man, I'll do it for free. I'm going to get to be on URL. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, your buddy next to you has had battles and he's making money off battles. And he's like, I'm not going to do my craft for free.
Because unfortunately, the ticket sale gap is very difficult right now. So like when you see Lux or when you see Surf, you know that's a ticket sale. When you see Geechee Surf, that's selling my tickets, you know. And when you get down and you're like, all right, should we go with Chef Trez or should we go with franchise? Like in our heads, we're like, yo, Chef Trez is one of the best rebuttalers in the world. He's yada yada. Franchise is not there yet. But like in the business mindset of it, they're just like, well, franchise will do it for 500, and I don't think we're gonna lose 150 tickets. You know what I mean? Off it being franchise versus such and such, rather than Chef. You know what I mean? So like they have to look. So it's definitely a business understanding that you got to get to, and then as a battler too, you just have to know what you're worth. Like I can't go out there and say like, hey, I beat Geechee Gotti, I need $8,000. You know, A.Ward's not making what I did, but A.Ward's not making, you know, URL $8,000 in ticket sales, maybe not. You know what I mean? So I got to be honest with myself about my work too. So,
but you know what? That's where the whole art of scouting talent and potential. Someone should be well skilled enough to look at A.Ward battle, see the numbers, see the craftsmanship, see the professionalism, and say, we need to invest, even if he comes over here, that, you know, instead of trying to pay him nothing for first battle, we need to invest 1,000 or 2,000 into him, because us putting him out here in front of our audience, they're going to like what they see.
Yeah.
Know that, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like sometimes they be a little bit greedy, you know what I'm saying? Because like all these situations are not the same. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the whole champion of the year, we're all saying like,
you know
what I'm saying? And my whole thing was shout out to Geechee, but how do we have a champion of the year and all y'all can say, well, he was in all of his fights. He didn't lose them all, or he didn't win them all, but he was in them. And I'm like,
it's a tough, man. And that's the scary thing about, I say scary, I use it lightly. It's a scary thing about battle rap is like agendas and narratives and everything can be pushed by people that have absolutely nothing to do with you actually crafting your rounds and performing them. You know what I mean? And like you got, you know, Champion, which, you know, I appreciate, you know, what Champion does for the culture, but they could literally take a week and do blogs and push and put, you know, Ace Amin up here, you know, and they can turn around and take and destroy a narrative or make it bigger. And that demand, you know, for the fans and the people that tune in, now they want to see that. And it's just very different and difficult because it's like, man, I work super, super, super hard. And if you choose not to review any of my battles, it's frustrating because it's like, man, you have such a voice, you know, you have different things that you could do to where I could be getting, or I'd be in the talks for a lot more different stuff, you know?
Right.
And so, but yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough thinking that the fate of your career can often be in other people's hands.
You are now rocking with DJ Ladybug.
You already know. Yeah. Get into it, here it go. J.ALWAYZ and Wavegang radio, we talking about. Man on the street, Mr. Polo, we rocking out. Co-star, pretty money, yeah, you know the money pretty. In the smoker and why, yeah, I heard he run the city. Gang, gang, you already know what the squad do. Blood and everything, 2020, what we into. You already know the name, Monty, King Jigger. Get your watts up, ask around, I'm a mean spitter. Go get a flow spitter, pinch hitter, rim spinner. DJ Ladybug is the plug, keep it low tenor. Back on my intros, you all know the info. Just call me Monty on everything tenfold. Wavegang radio, we talking about anything BRC, we gon' air it out. Wavegang radio, we shouting out. Anybody coming with the drama, we gon' clear it out. Wavegang radio, we talking about anything BRC, we gon' air it out. Wavegang radio, we shouting out. Anybody coming with the drama, we gon' clear it out.